Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for our very special Sip and Sail cocktail hour, celebrating our loyalty guests. Before we begin, we'd like to give you a few friendly reminders. This is a live and interactive event, and we would love your participation. We have a team of great multilingual moderators who are ready to answer your questions and comments in real time. We will also be collecting some of your questions for a live Q&A session at the end of our hour together. If you're joining us on GoToWebinar platform, please use the Questions tab on the GoToWebinar menu. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, please put your comments in there. This event will be recorded, archived, and shared with you at a later time. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our host for tonight, our very own co-founder and executive vice president of AmaWaterways, Kristin Karst, and our business development manager and cruise manager, Sébastien Leroy. Please enjoy and bon voyage.
So hello and welcome to all our loyal guests, our future guests, and especially our hardworking travel advisors joining us today. We very much appreciate that even though the world has changed, we are still able to personally connect with you and celebrate you during our Sip and Sail virtual events. And we cannot wait to share more with you about our loyalty appreciation sailings. But first, because it is our Sip and Sail, and it is now 4 o'clock in California and 7 o'clock in Florida, where Sebastian is right now. Sebastian, I want to ask you, what is in your glass today?
Well, even if I'm in Florida, Christine, and since we will be talking about our European river cruises mainly, I decided to go for a Grüne Veltliner from the Wachau Valley in Austria.
Aha. And I am actually drinking my favorite red wine from Austria, the Blaufränkisch. It is like a dark varietal of grapes. And I think this wine was cultivated already in the 10th century in the eastern part of Austria, bordering Hungary. And because we have so many Danube cruises going from Austria to Budapest and further, I really always enjoy this wine. So, and we always, of course, have a toast in the beginning. And so I would like to propose this toast now. As I was searching for the perfect words today, I came across a line: may the hand of a friend always be near. And of course, in these times, we may not be joining hands. So I would like to amend this line to: may the hearts of our dear friends always be open, and maybe celebrate and share many more memories with our loyal Ama family, our travel advisors, our guests in all the years to come. So cheers to all of you.
Cheers to you.
And I hope you all, who are with us now on our Sip and Sail, you also have a wonderful beverage in your hand, hopefully a local glass of wine or any of your favorite drinks. And Sebastian, normally we would be on board our ships right now, and would be 7 o'clock, of course, your time in Florida, would be part of our Sip and Sail hour before we all go to dinner. Would you like to explain to our new guests what our Sip and Sail is on board our ships?
Hi, with pleasure. I mean, Sip and Sail is something, actually, it's something very special for all our guests when they experience that the first time, but actually they get to enjoy it even more the more they know it. It is a cocktail hour that we have introduced a couple of years ago, and it's always 1 hour before dinner. And as you just mentioned, 7 o'clock, I think it's important to say an hour before dinner, because it has to do with the return time of our excursions. And we want to make sure that all our guests, when they come back from an excursion, that they are not rushed, that they have time before going to dinner. And this hour, this sip and sail hour, I see that as a cruise manager, and I'm sure that you, having been on the ship so many times with us, I see that as the social hour. That's, I mean, with all the tours that we have, that we offer, with even group of friends going in different directions during the day, this sip and sail is really the moment where everybody will connect and will be able to talk about what they've seen, about their guides, about the destinations where they've been during the day. That's also the moment where the cruise manager will present the program for the next day. But it's really good. I mean, you see a lot of mingling, and you really see the difference. It evolves during a week, and actually, even when you have 2 cruises, the ambiance actually during the sip and sail hour is always really great.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. And I know we wanted to start our sip and sail with a poll. We would like to know from you, our travel advisors, our loyal guests, where are you planning to sail with AmaWaterways when we can sail again? And of course, we have either the Danube River, the Rhine, the Main, and the Moselle rivers, France, Portugal, or the Dutch and Belgian waterways, Egypt, the Nile River, our new destination 2021, or our Africa safaris and wildlife cruises on the Zambezi Queen in the more southern part of Africa. And then we have the mighty Mekong River cruising Vietnam and Cambodia. So now let's give you a little bit of time. And then, of course, I would love to announce the results. All right, okay. 37% of you would like to cruise the Danube River, 17% the Rhine, the Main, and the Moselle, 22% France, the Douro in Portugal, or Holland and Belgium during tulip time, or now our new summer cruises, 20% the Nile River or Africa safaris and wildlife. That is actually a spectacular number because we have only 1 ship coming on the Nile, 1 very small one in the southern part of Africa, and 5% the Mekong River. Well, thank you so much for giving us your votes, which really helps us in the future to program the right way, our inventory, the number of our ships on all the different rivers. But now I would like to take a minute to talk about our loyalty appreciation sailings. Now, the vision behind these cruises, these very special cruises, was to give something back to you, our loyal guests, who have been part of our story for the past 18 years. You all know AmaWaterways started in July 2002, and since then we have built more than 23 ships. And in fact, it is you, our travel advisors, our guests, with all your bookings, requesting new itineraries, new rivers all the time. You are driving us forward. We could not have built our ships without you. And as you all know, we are actually having 3 ships coming in 2021. And this is the Ama Siena, the Ama Lucia, and the Ama Dalia on the Nile River in Egypt. So we do have our Privilege Rewards loyalty program, but we wanted to do something more and also give our loyal guests a chance to connect with each other as well. So on sailings where you are only together with other loyalty cruise members. And these special sailings are a way for us to surprise and delight you, as well as to thank you by treating you to exclusive experiences, both on board and ashore, that are not available on any of our other river cruises. And during each sailing, our most traveled guests are honored during a very, very special ceremony. Now, I also said, of course, surprise and delight moments, because it is actually these little things that you cannot read in the brochure, that we and our crew members will provide you on board without you knowing it really before, that usually creates the wow. Because if it's something that you don't expect, and then of course it comes your way, it creates this absolutely wonderful feeling to say, that was a most magical experience. It was the best cruise in my life. Now let's see what the future holds, and let's see on which next cruise I want to come. Maybe it's another loyalty cruise with more surprise and delight moments. So in 2021, we are currently offering 5 unique loyalty appreciation cruises that take you either through Europe or through Asia. And the first one is our new Magna on the Danube cruise with embarkation on August 4, 2021. So that's exactly in 1 year from now that hopefully all of us will meet on the AmaMagna on the Danube River. And I'm glad that the majority of you said you want to cruise the Danube as your next river. So the award-winning AmaMagna offers you the luxury of space and more choices in dining and leisure on board. The ship has 5 bars, 4 unique restaurants, an onboard cinema, and my personal favorite, an expansive Zen wellness studio, also with 2 massage rooms, manicure, pedicure, facial, hairdresser, and all these wonderful, wonderful things. Now we know that in today's days, we want this luxury of space. Not just are the staterooms very, very large with almost all balconies. A stateroom size is in the average 355 square feet. 80% of our staterooms have this on board this ship. That is normally the size of a suite on a regular river cruise ship. But also with those 4 restaurants, 2 libraries, the double wide ship gives you all this space that really having and keeping the social distance is something that comes very natural and something where we don't even have to do any additional adjustments on board. Now, there are also exclusive excursions for you, our loyal members, and you, our advisors, of course, when you talk about this, such as a visit to Vienna's Schönbrunn Palace, as well as hiking or biking in the winemaking port of Spitz with a very, very special evening that we have prepared there for you. Now, the next one is the Gems of Southeast Europe, embarking on November 14, 2021. So this is the Lower Danube, starting in Budapest, the capital of Hungary, and then we go down the south. And during this sailing, you can experience the rich culture along the Lower Danube in less visited, less crowded countries, including Croatia, Serbia, Romania, and Bulgaria. And then I look already to our bookings in 2021, and thanks to you, the ships are so well booked. In fact, June was our best booking month ever for 21. Then I really, really see that a lot of demand now goes to the Lower Danube. And of course, November 14 is a beautiful time of the year because many of the vineyards will still be in their reddish, orange, bright yellow colors. That's post-harvest time, a very special time of the year. Now then, of course, we have our Rhine and Moselle fairy tales starting on October and the 5th. Also a fantastic time of the year. If you're looking to spend more than 7 nights on board, then our Rhine and Moselle fairy tales as an 11-night journey gives you the pleasure for a longer cruise. And we can actually see that so many of our guests plan already longer cruises because once you fly all the long way to Europe, you want to spend more time there and not just flying back and then maybe flying again. I believe, or what we see today, flights are a little bit of a critical moment here, especially when they are longer, and we want to cater to you and your desire to stay longer in Europe. Now, the Moselle is, for me personally, one of the most breathtaking rivers in Europe, or maybe in the entire world. It's a very small, windy, curvy river, visiting many intimate, colorful villages. And it also includes the unforgettable experience of sailing past more than 40 castles through the Rhine Gorge. And back to the Moselle River is actually the river with the steepest vineyards in the world. It's almost a secret that the Germans keep there. And then we have the Rhone River. And some of you might know, of course, that the AmaKristina, that currently is my namesake ship, that is cruising for the German-speaking market right now, while we from North America cannot travel to Europe. We will move the AmaKristina to the Rhone River over the winter season. And because many of you have been with us on Christmas time and holiday cruises on the Rhine and the Danube, now it's maybe time to join our holiday cruise on board the AmaKristina on December the 2nd, where we are cruising France's legendary Rhone River. And you can actually experience our popular Colors of Provence itinerary, spiced up with some wonderful delight and surprise moments during the pre-Christmas time. And the next one, number 5, would be the Riches of the Mekong, starting September the 6th, 2021. And I encourage you to join us on our Riches of the Mekong River, because this is an incredible part of the world that is very near and dear to my heart. And it's absolutely my favorite sailing, as you truly get the chance to interact with and learn from all these wonderful, so polite and modest people who live in the villages along the Mekong River. And I know that some of you who are tonight with us on our Sip and Sail have been on the Mekong River, and you know how beautiful, of course, this river is, the culture and all these traditional sites. And we will show you more about this a little bit later. But now, Sebastian, before we virtually welcome you on board our cruise, we would like to share with you our latest onboard health and safety video. As I mentioned, AmaKristina is cruising right now for the German-speaking market, and this allows us to put actually our health and safety protocol into action and into perfection. So you will see now what's happening live on board. So please enjoy this video. Our world has changed, but the rivers continue to flow. As the proud godmother of our award-winning AmaKristina, I'm honored to tell you that she became one of the very first river cruise ships to start sailing the European rivers this summer. While certain countries have travel restrictions at this time, we have begun operating a series of select sailings with European guests in collaboration with an established German tour operator, eHoi. We want to reassure our guests that you will experience the same wonderful AmaWaterways service you have come to love, with some important enhancements to our health and safety protocols to keep both you and our crew healthy throughout your journey. As always, you will be warmly welcomed aboard. Your pre-cruise health questionnaire will be updated and temperatures will be taken at the time of embarkation. We will also do a quick temperature check every morning before you enjoy your delicious breakfast. In addition, we will sanitize your luggage before delivering it to your stateroom. You will notice our friendly crew wearing face coverings throughout the ship, and we kindly ask you to wear them whenever moving through public spaces or when appropriate distancing cannot be observed. We have made enhancements to the ship so that you may enjoy yourself while seated in our beautiful dining rooms and lounge without the use of a face covering. Our spacious ships provide you with plenty of space to experience all the comforts we offer. We are also limiting the number of guests on board according to the most up-to-date health and safety guidelines in effect. Our crew will be happy to serve you at your table, as well as provide you a delicious room service menu during meal times. While you are relaxing on the sun deck, taking in the breathtaking views, or exercising with our professionally trained wellness hosts, we are busy sanitizing all public areas, along with all lounge chairs, exercise equipment and mats, bicycles and helmets. Our incredible variety of included shore excursions are always conducted in small groups, allowing for comfortable social distancing and front row views. Even with these enhanced health and safety measures in place, our guests are still enjoying a wonderful experience with AmaWaterways.
As soon as I entered the ship, everybody was so friendly and it was such a perfect atmosphere that I got that holiday feeling straight away, and it's just perfect to be on board. I feel totally safe and secure.
It's been fantastic to see the guests enjoying so much and yet following all the safety protocols, and we've seen how it's still been a wonderful vacation, and feeling a little bit like spoiled and pampered and like in a cocoon.
I have to say that since the moment we arrived, I felt so safe. The ship was cleaner than clean, just amazing. It really felt like an oasis of heaven.
Since we started AmaWaterways 18 years ago, we have been passionate about creating luxurious, authentic, and inspiring river cruises for every traveler. One of the most important aspects for our guests is the luxury of having peace of mind while traveling. For your comfort and safety, we are offering exclusive airport transfers when you purchase your flight through AmaWaterways. We encourage our American guests to add our cruise protection plan, which provides cancellation and medical coverage related to many aspects of travel, including COVID-19. For additional peace of mind, our newly enhanced Travel Waiver Plus includes cancellation for any reason up to 24 hours prior to the start of your AmaWaterways vacation. We want to assure you that the health and safety of our guests and crew will always be our top priority. We hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy, and we look forward to welcoming you on board one of our luxurious river cruise ships soon again. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and you see we take health and safety very, very serious, not just on board our ship, but also then we go on all our included shore excursions. And you know, we have many different shore excursions available every day in small groups now. The groups will be smaller than ever. So many different options that we provide. And we also talked about airport transfers, and I will say a little bit later about this, but we really went to very small transportation, private vehicles, and so on. So Sebastian, I think I would like to take you now, take it away, explaining the different loyalty cruises. And I know you are the expert because you have been on all the cruises, you have been together with so many of the guests, you know what usually the questions are. So here you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Christine. Good evening again, everyone. Thank you for being with us tonight. Welcome on board. And tonight will be again, a special kind of cruise because I'm not going to keep you on one ship. We will go on quite a few different ones. We will start, you've seen which loyalty cruises we have prepared for you for 2021. And I think that the poll was actually perfect. I mean, starting with the Danube, and we will start with our AmaMagna, which I've had the pleasure to be on already. A beautiful, beautiful vessel. And this cruise on the upper Danube will take, I mean, this first one will take us between Budapest and actually the city of Vilshofen on the AmaMagna. And this ship, for those of you who have been on board our cruise ships before, is simply completely different. I mean, even for me as a cruise manager, the first time I stepped on board the ship, you really have this wow. And frankly, even if we have this beautiful picture, that's when AmaMagna was passing Bratislava, I really encourage and invite everybody to come on board because you have a ship there that is pretty much as wide as two of our ships. And for those of you who might have been in Vienna before, you might remember that sometimes we have two of our ships next to each other. And right there, you have one ship and all the space. I mean, I heard Christine talking about the luxury of space, and that's perfect term because in these days, I mean, this, what I hope we will soon call the post-COVID era, this space will be very important. And then think about it, having 4 dining venues, 4 different styles of dining venue. One, I mean, if you look at the upper left corner, we see this al fresco restaurant, and this one is actually available the entire day. You can breakfast there, you can have lunch there, you can have dinner there, and you have the view. If you're cruising, you just see the river opening in front of you. If you're docking, you see the city or the scenery around you. And then when the 3 others are a little bit different, we have, of course, our Chef's Table restaurant. All of you know the Chef's Table. You've been there. If you have not been on your first cruise, I strongly recommend you go there. A tasting menu with wine pair. I mean, it's a wine paired dinner, and it's really a beautiful, beautiful experience. And for those of you who remember our, what I would call regular ships, you will remember that even before we had a lot of space in this restaurant. It is an intimate experience, and it's exactly the same thing on board the AmaMagna. Jimmy's is our 3rd restaurant. It's actually named after the late Jimmy Murphy, one of the 3rd founder of the company. Beautiful experience we have there. Again, with a lot of space, a very, very nice experience, a different ambiance, a different atmosphere every time you're there. And of course, we have the main dining room that you can see on the lower right corner. And there you go. I mean, you have these different size of tables. And I really, might sound odd that I talk about the size of tables, but I always love to talk about it and actually how many guests can be at these tables, because I think that luxury of space, but luxury overall is about paying attention to detail. And in these restaurants, we have even odd numbers, so that if we have solo travelers traveling with us, feel free to join one of these tables. There will never be an empty seat, and that's, I think, a great feature that we have. But AmaMagna, being built last year, has really embedded innovations that are really one of a kind. I think this ship is really a trendsetter. We will see what the future says there, but having, of course, being very conscious all the time of the environment. I mean, now you might even know, I mean, if you've been following us, you know that we have won these green awards, because we've been very conscious. We want everybody to discover these countries, and we want you to have the best experience, but we want to be respectful of our environment. So we have really great features on board. We eliminated the plastic. We have these beautiful staterooms with almost all of them with full balconies. And as Kristin said, I mean, they go up to 710 square feet. So that's quite a lot of space. Huh? And you were talking, Kristin, about your favorite spot earlier. That was the Zen Wellness Studio. But we just saw mine, which is the possibility to have spin bike classes outside. And that's, I think, even better. I mean, you're spinning on your bike and you see the scenery going around you. Absolutely amazing. Well, let's talk about the destinations. If you have not been there, well, let's start with a great city, Budapest. That's where we will start, and the city that has been built, actually two cities, Buda and Pest, on both sides of the Danube. And that's where we will start our trip on the upper Danube. You will spend an entire day when you are in Budapest. We visit this beautiful, beautiful city. It's by coach. It's by coach and walking, because it's a very large city. If we want to see it properly, we need to see this partly by bus. But you have a lot of time there as well. I think what is also very important nowadays is to have the time, not to feel rushed anywhere. And that's the beauty of the small groups. If you have small groups with many guides, you will be able to do many more things, because you will not be searching for other people. So that's a great feature that we have there. We always had small groups, but now they will be, as you just mentioned, even smaller. And then we continue. So we leave from Budapest. We're cruising towards the Danube, and then we pass next to Slovakia, and we arrive in Vienna. And of course, I'm not going to talk to you about all the stops that we do. I just want to give you a glimpse of what you will be able to enjoy. And just this view here, that's one of the entrances to the Hofburg Palace. The Hofburg Palace, Winter Palace of the Habsburg family, beautiful piece of architecture. And actually, you don't know it, but I can already tell you that on the left of this building, on this picture, that's where you have the very famous Spanish riding school. And one thing, you know it because you've been on board our ships before, but feel free, go to your cruise manager. If there are things that you want to see that are not necessarily in the program, go see my colleagues. I'm pretty sure, and I'm absolutely not pretty sure, I'm certain that we will help you having these absolutely incredible moments. You're in Vienna, you want to have a Viennese schnitzel, we will tell you where to go. And that's another feature here, the Schönbrunn Palace, exclusive for the Magna on the Danube visit of this beautiful summer residence of the Habsburgs family. You will have the possibility to enjoy it. It has beautiful gardens. It has even a carriage museum that you will absolutely love. When you look at this, for those of you who would have been to Paris before, and if you have seen Versailles, you might see some similarities, simply because the Habsburgs wanted to have something that would look like Versailles. But the gardens of this Schönbrunn Palace are absolutely magnificent, and the palace inside is superb as well. And then you continue your way, and look where you arrive. You've seen two magnificent capital cities. Actually, you will have seen three. But then you arrive in the Wachau Valley, and you arrive at the heart of it in Spitz. And that's the home of this very wine that I have here. The Grüne Veltliner is really the grape of this area. Beautiful. You will get to taste it, of course, if you want. We don't force you, but we strongly encourage you, because this is really the place where you can have it. And you know, when you taste a wine, it never tastes the same when you drink the same wine back home. You want to be there, you want to enjoy it, and try to imagine this. We're talking about August the 4th here. So this means that you will have long evenings. You can go at the end of your day, you take a bottle of wine, and at the end of your day, you're either on your balcony or you're on the sun deck of the ship. And as the sun goes down, you're sipping your glass of Grüne Veltliner or Blaufränkisch, because they have beautiful red wines as well. That's what you would see there, and what you would be able to enjoy in this area. You would have, of course, the possibility to enjoy milk. But if you want to go, if this is your choice as a next loyalty cruise, feel free to take this one. AmaMagna combined with the Upper Danube, you will not be disappointed at all. This is a trip that you will not forget. But if you decide to go a little bit more exotic, even staying in Europe, and I will never say that a trip is better than the other. I really think that they're all different, because we've been working very, very hard. Our operation team has always been working hard to make to make something different for our guests. I mean, we don't want to go where everybody goes. And that I think that even these loyalty cruises are, they bring something really special, because we will have, and Kristin mentioned it, these are surprises. So I cannot tell you what will be coming next year, but I will give you a little glimpse a little later of what we had last year, for example. But when we go to Southeast Europe, so basically what happens there, we would start in Budapest, but then we will go towards the Black Sea, and you will have the possibility during these 7 nights, during these 8 days, to go through 5 countries. Kristin mentioned it. We start in Hungary, and you will visit Pécs, which is a very interesting city. And then we continue through Croatia, and we arrive in Serbia. And look at what you have here, Petrovaradin, a beautiful fortress. The city itself is absolutely stunning. But I think this one, just on the bank of the Danube, on the north bank of the Danube, Petrovaradin, very, very impressive fortress. You will get to visit it. And since we offer different walking paces, you will really be able to see what you want to see. Because from the beginning, and you know that, we have the active walking groups, we have regular walking groups, and we have the gentle ones. And each of these groups will be able to give you the best experience when it comes to the visit of Petrovaradin and the city of Novi Sad. Beautiful place that has been actually built. Why? To stop the Ottomans. So you know that during the 16th century, the Ottomans were coming from the east, and that's why you have some very, very fortified cities along the way, and Novi Sad was one of them. But of course, we are, as Kristin said, going in an area that is less crowded, that is much more full of nature, if I can say. And look at this place. That's what we call the Iron Gate. So that's a very small spot in the Iron Gate, where you have here the face of a king. And this was King Decebal. King Decebal, if you want to write that down, he was the first king of Dacia. And Dacia, that's roughly the former name of Romania, geographically speaking. That would be the area. But you cruise there, and when you enter the Iron Gates, it's a full day of cruising. We leave from Belgrade and we're cruising for 22 hours roughly, and you will pass the 2 largest locks on the Danube. If you've been with us, you've seen locks, but not like this one. When you arrive at the Iron Gates 1, the dam itself is 1 mile wide, and you've seen the locks that we have on the Upper Danube and maybe on the Rhine or in France. They're very small compared to these ones, because you could put 6 ships like our regular ships. We could put 4 of our AmaMagna in one of the chambers, and it's absolutely gigantic, and it's beautiful. You have this very narrow gorge. You have a village, when you pass there, it's called Lepenski Vir. That's an old settlement that has just been discovered in the middle of the cliff, like you could see here. And you had a settlement that has been here for 8,000 years. And then you continue your way the entire day. The crew has prepared the chef prepares for you a special barbecue, and you will never forget that barbecue, because he prepares all the specialties from Bulgaria, from Romania, where we are going. And then where do you arrive? You arrive in Vidin, and look at this rock formation. That's the fortress of Belogracic. And for those of you who are really active, because we have, of course, these active tours, but if you want to go on a hike, that's a hike that I really recommend. And you see on the picture some of the guests going all the way up. Belogracic it's a beautiful rock formation. What you see there has been formed by the wind, actually, for millions of years. And the fortress has been built using this rock formation, and it's virtually not untakeable. It is absolutely superb, a great experience when you go there. And when you arrive at the top you want to go, you have a beautiful view on the entire area. If you don't want to go to Belogracic, it's not the only tour. You know, we offer a lot of tours. I mean, depending on the cruise and the area where you are, it will go up to 7 different tours in a day. So you're free to choose. You will have a lot of choices, and the area is beautiful. And we're talking, and as you know, we're talking about tours, but not only. If you want to discover an area on your own, feel free. The only thing that we ask you, you know it, be back on board before the ship leaves. That's the only thing we need from you. After that, we will continue our way, and we finish in Romania. So we arrive and we have the possibility to visit Bucharest. And after that, you even have post extensions. I mean, you will love any of them. You could go to Transylvania. You could go to Istanbul. I mean, you will love it as well. Just a little word about the building that you see on this picture. That's the People's House that was built by Nicolae Ceausescu. This is the second largest administrative building in the world nowadays, number one being the Pentagon. And we take you in there if you want to. We have 3 different tours there. If you want to visit this, the visit lasts about an hour and you're walking. It's absolutely impressive. And when you come out, you're like, we've walked a lot today. And actually, you've seen about 2% of the building. So think about it. When you want to go there and visit the People's House, you will have a great, great time. But now let's come back a little bit to Central and Northern Europe a little bit, because we have the Rhine and Moselle fairy tales. The map explains it all. I mean, Kristin mentioned that it's more than 8 days, than 7 nights, and it's because we're combining the Rhine River and the Moselle River. And I really agree. The Moselle is absolutely beautiful. The views that you have there, these vineyards that you have that are really all along the river, narrow river, steep, absolutely beautiful. But you start in Amsterdam, and in Amsterdam, what would be a better way than visiting the city with all these canals than on a canal cruise? You can do that. And Amsterdam is a beautiful city. It's a very vibrant city. And the quality of the tour that you will get there is absolutely amazing, because it's not only about the construction of the city. All the houses that you see there, when you think about it, they're mainly from the 17th century. But you have also a lot of art. You know, I mean, you will hear about Vincent van Gogh. You will hear about Rembrandt. You will hear about all these great painters. You will hear about Johannes Vermeer. And so really a lot of art in the city, and you feel that when you walk through it, when you use your free time. I always say, of course you can come back on the ship, but you're not coming to Amsterdam every day. So enjoy the time that you have there. Enjoy the time, walk around the city, and then come back on your ship, and you will have a beautiful time on board the ship. And that's the Moselle. And you see, I'm sure that just when you see this picture, you want to go. Who would not want to go in an area like this? When I told you that the river is windy, you have the proof right here. And you have tons of little villages, but they produce a lot of wine. And you can see all these are vineyards. And I think it's a great area, because that's really where you will have some of the most beautiful Riesling wines on earth. And I'm saying that especially now because I know, and Kristin, you know that as well. I mean, for me as a French living in the United States now, what struck me all the time is that when I talk to friends, or they say, yeah, but Riesling is sweet. I'm like, no, Riesling is not sweet. 80% of the German wines that are produced, the German Rieslings that are produced, are bone dry, and they are so fruity, they are so crisp. I really encourage you to try the Rieslings from Moselle. I'm a little biased because there is a little region called the Rheingau right next to it. And actually, before meeting Kristin and all the AmaWaterways team, I was a winemaker in this very area. So try them all, and then you will be able to taste for you, to measure that for yourself. But we have, of course, wine, we have history, we have also beautiful towns. And look at that, the castle of Heidelberg. Heidelberg is actually on the third river on the itinerary. We don't only see the Rhine and the Moselle, we see the Neckar River. And this city of Heidelberg has one of the oldest universities in Germany, has one of the most beautiful sandstone castle in Germany. And what I think is very striking when we visit these places is the castle itself, the sandstone itself, is because it's full of iron, and you will see all the old town is built with these. So really a great experience that you will have them there. You can walk along the Neckar River. You can even have a hike, and you see the city on the other side. And then you continue your way towards one of my favorite on this itinerary, Strasbourg. Strasbourg and La Petite France. And you can see here, La Petite France, and that's really this area where you have also these little canals. That's the old part of the city. And you have these half-timbered houses, and really a beautiful place. It's almost everywhere is pedestrian. I mean, you have very few streets, so you can walk everywhere. There is a lot of space, and And I think that's the beauty of all these tours, is that we take you also to places where you will never feel crowded. And that's, again, I want to really insist on that with the small groups. That's something that is really so enjoyable. And I know that you all have enjoyed it before, and you will enjoy it the next time. But I wanted to talk about the surprises, delights. And last year, that's this place, actually in the Rheingau. So that's the area where I used to be. The Schloss Johannisberg, and our guests had no idea where we would take them. And you arrive in this place, which is a former abbey that has been transformed into a castle about 250 years ago. But just before that, this place was very, actually, it is very important in Germany in the history of wine, because that's where they discovered a fungus that makes very, very special wine. It's called the Botrytis cinerea, known as the noble rot. And that right here in this castle of Johannisberg, that the Botrytis was discovered in Germany, and in a very special year for America, actually, because it was 1776. So this place is just overlooking the widest part of the Rhine. The Rhine right there is almost a mile wide. You have on the other side of the Rhine the Rochus Chapel, so the St. Rochus Kapelle. And this inspired so many people, and the view, and when I say so many people, Victor Hugo spent time there, Beethoven went there. And the view, imagine you're having a little wine tasting and you're overlooking this area, just vineyards around you. You just hear, you have no cars, you just have birds, you have people walking around you, and the weather is beautiful. That's the kind of surprises and delights that we prepare for you. And trust me, when you don't know that you're going there, there is a little wow moment. And this is really, truly beautiful. And of course, I could not talk, I could not be a good French if I did not talk about France. And Colors of Provence on board the Ama Cristina, that will be a beautiful thing as well. And especially at this time of the year, because many people think that, and many people know actually that we offer Christmas time cruises. That's true. But we have not been in southern France at that time of the year yet. And yet there are. We don't find the same Christmas markets like you would find on the Rhine or on the Danube rivers. But Provence has a lot of Christmas traditions, and we will see them in a very few moments. But this cruise is absolutely beautiful. Why? Because you go through history, and when I say through history, you have 2,600 years of history along the Rhone River. We start in Lyon, and Lyon, actually, what you see here is the Saône River on the first river that you see, and the one in the far is the Rhone River, because in Lyon these two rivers meet, and it is a superb city. It is the food capital of France, and you know what culinary experiences you have on board our ships, but right there, since now we have our themed lunches, you will see that you're in for a treat when you start a cruise in Lyon. And we will go south. We will go all the way south. And as I said, we will go through history, but the beauty of this river as well is that the landscape changes every day. We will go through gorge. We will go through more flat areas like right here in Avignon. And actually this is really what you will see. This picture has been taken at the end of the year with the very famous Pont Saint-Bénézet, which is very famous for the song The Pont d'Avignon. I will not sing to you tonight because I want everybody to stay happy. But you have the visit of the Pope's Palace, which is the big fortress that you see right there. And it is a place where you will feel going back in time, because the entire city wall, which dates back to the 13th century, is intact. The 23 gates are still intact, and you can go there, walk there, you will see a beautiful central square, and your guides take you through the Pope's Palace. You can go up to the Winter Garden that is up there with the Church of Our Lady. Really an amazing place to see. But you continue, and then you go to Arles, and I was talking about 2,600 years of history, and this place is actually 2,600 years old. We know that before the Romans, the Phoenicians were already there, because the Rhone River, it was from the very early days a trade route from Southern Europe towards Northern Europe. And what you see right there on the left of the picture is actually the Roman amphitheater, which is still in use. It's completely intact. It has been completely cleaned a couple of years ago, and it's still used. for parties, for concerts. And can you imagine that? You go to a concert in a Roman arena that has been here for 2,000 years. You have the Roman bath, but you don't stay in Arles. You have the possibility to go in beautiful places like the quarries of light. And I will not describe too much what the quarries of light are, but what I can tell you is that these quarries of light, and they are old quarries, as the name says, if you have been to Paris to the Louvre Museum, I can tell you that the oldest part of the Louvre, the stones that have been used to build the Louvre, are coming from this very quarry. But let's talk about traditions in Provence. And you see what we call here the santons. And santons are really crèches that we have in Provence. And I spent half of my youth in Normandy, but half of my youth in Provence as well. And the santons are something very, very important. Every family has the santons. They're all handmade. They're all hand painted. They have to be from the area. And people, I can tell you that when I see people coming from a foreign country and see them, I've never seen someone without buying one to go back home. And actually, it gives an excuse to people to come multiple times. I got Joseph this year. I will get the Virgin Mary next year. And they do that. And you have these crèches. They have the small ones, but you have some that are from human size. In the middle of the city, you would be able to go to a city hall, and in front of it, you will have this huge crèche. And it's a beautiful time, and it's absolutely great to see these. But also, for our foodies, the Provence people have a very, very special way of celebrating the Christmas Eve. Because, yes, you are reading properly. We have a 13 desserts tradition. Why 13 desserts? Well, because that's the way in Provence that you have to celebrate Jesus and the 12 apostles. So this tradition has been here for hundreds of years. I will not, I mean, you can see there are a lot of very simple elements, dried apricots, almonds, and all sorts of nuts. They are here for everybody to take at the end of dinner, and they stay on the table because the idea is that everybody should be done with the desserts when they are not hungry anymore. There is no specific recipe, actually. I mean, you can choose pretty much what you want with the 13 desserts. I mean, families do what they want, but this is something that we would really like to show you. And I'm sure that at that time of the year, you will also have, because you're much more south, so you will still have these beautiful colors everywhere in the area. Now, I've been talking about 4 of our loyal cruises. There is a 5th one, and this 5th one is a very special one. And for that, I would like to invite somebody who is very, very special. I really want you to really welcome him very warmly, because he is actually connecting with us from Asia. So it's very, very early where he is. Dewey, are you here?
Yes, here I am. Hello, everyone. I'm from Vietnam, and it is now already 7 o'clock in the morning.
So hello, Dewey. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the riches of the Mekong?
Sure. So the riches of the Mekong, we are going to cruise on the beautiful and the mighty Mekong River, cover both Vietnam and Cambodia. In Vietnam, you're going to have chance to learn the beauty and the riches of the Mekong by cruising along the Mekong River, stopping at different villages. For example, we stop at the place where they make handicraft workshop, coconut candy, popcorn, pop rice, and you actually have hands-on experience to make your own rice paper. When you go to a lot of Vietnamese restaurants, you have already tried spring rolls, and this is a great chance for you to know the beginning, how to make a rice paper, and you make your own as well. Or we do tech, like in Europe, Sebastian already mentioned, we have a lot of choices. We do have a lot of choices here in Vietnam and Cambodia. Do the walking tour in the Evergreen Island, or in Cambodia, we go to amazing experience to have a Buddha blessing ceremony in the largest Buddhism monastery in Udon from Phnom Penh. And of course, when we get to Siem Reap, it's such a beautiful, it's World Heritage Sites. many more that I would love to share with you, but we have a short of time. So if I'm open up for any questions that I have from you, I can share a lot more about Vietnam and Cambodia.
Oh, thank you, Joey. And I know we have a very short video prepared. So let's just play the video quickly.
You're AmaWaterways cruise manager. The Mekong River is one of the most mighty rivers in the world. It's the 12th longest and the 10th largest rivers in the world. I would like to take you on our beautiful AmaWaterways, traveling on the Mekong River from Cambodia to Vietnam, an insight into everyday culture, history, tradition, and this is a very live, enriching cruise. It's a great experience, a great insight into the Vietnamese and the Cambodians' way of life.
When you get to Cambodia, get to Siem Reap, everybody is expecting to get one tick off from their bucket lists, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world is Angkor Wat. Saying goodbye, Siem Reap, we're gonna get to Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam, staying right in the heart of the city in the Sofitel Hotel. And one of our excursion is going to visit the Temple of Literature. The Temple of Literature was built back in the 11th century to dedicate to Confucius. Ha Long Bay, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, and granted by UNESCO as the World Heritage Site in 1994. And Ha Long Bay itself covers 1,969 islands. Beside the 8-day program in Vietnam, we also have pretty new extension in Bangkok of Thailand with 3-night stay in the heart of the city, and combines with the 2 excursions which cover the Royal Palace, the Temple of the Reclining Buddha, the Temple of the Dome, and very nice experience cruising along the Kalong River. So those are some highlights that I would love to share with you, and see you again very soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Joey, and I know that it was actually the same time in August last year when we were together on the Amadara on one of our beautiful Mekong cruises. So now that we have introduced you to our next loyalty cruises, it's time for me to quickly also give you some insight about your exclusive loyalty savings. So you are able to choose between different offers. We either offer you free economy air or 2-for-1 business class air, or a $1,000 discount per person for our past guests, or a 10% single supplement for our solo travelers, plus your loyalty reward. And I just want to point out again, if you choose the air offer, no matter if it's economy or 2-for-1 business class air, we will also include your airport transfer in exclusive vehicles. That means if you as a couple arrive, you will get your own transportation from the airport to the ship or the hotel. If you're a solo passenger, the same. If you come as a family of 4, then we transfer you as a family or as a group. But we will not transfer you as it was in the past, when you all come on the same flight, not knowing each other, on the same motor coach. So it will be your own exclusive transportation. And also, as a special thank you for joining us today, we would like to offer you an additional $100 per person bonus saving on any cruise you choose to reserve in 2021 or 2022. And for this, please contact your preferred travel advisor and reserve by November the 5th, 2020. it will be important that you mention the code loyalty100. And also, just to say something about our loyalty Facebook group. If you haven't done so already, one of the best ways to stay up to date on all our news and events is to join our loyalty Facebook group. We are so proud to have 5,500 guests already who regularly share their favorite AMA memories, offer recommendations for future sailings, and are even connecting with one another before they join us on the same river cruise. And if you have never before sailed with us, you're still welcome to join our loyalty Facebook group, as you will be inspired and receive wonderful advice from your loyalty guests. And also, if you maybe as a couple have been and want to choose the loyalty sailing of your choice, and now take your family or friends along who have maybe never cruised on AmaWaterways, the same savings will then also apply to your friends and your families. So, and now I believe it's time for our questions and answers. I know our moderators have been active answering already, but if there is anything live, I would be happy to do so. So let's see if we got anything in here. So I see if one question, are there bikes available and permitted on every sailing? And yes, with the exception of Portugal, the Mekong, Africa wildlife, and safari cruises, and Egypt. On the rest of our sailings, bikes are available, and we offer many included guided bike tours as well. The next question was, is Wi-Fi included during your cruise? And so absolutely, Wi-Fi is included on board all our ships, no matter what the destination is. In the privacy of your stateroom, throughout the ship, you don't have to pay anything for Wi-Fi, and you can do a lot with it. Then we have question number 3. Are there many free excursions included on your cruises? And yes, how are they organized? And I think we mentioned this already, and Sebastian mentioned in his presentation, we have all our shore excursions included. They come in small groups, different options, so you can choose the excursion of your choice. Sometimes it's hard to choose, but also we organize gentle walking groups, active walking groups, sometimes even late riser groups, if you don't want to get up that early in the morning. And question number 4, can Canadians sail with AmaWaterways at this time? And now at this time, we had to suspend our sailings until September 30. So that means at this time, we are under the conditions of the travel ban. Even so, Canadians could come to Europe, but they would have to go back into quarantine when they come into their own country. So that's why we have only our German charter at the moment. But hopefully we can start cruising very, very soon for all our North American clients. And we really hope we can get still a couple of weeks or months out of cruising in 2020. And there is a question for Dui. Dui, what is your favorite experience on the Mekong River?
So for me, the most favorite experience on the riches of the Mekong, I'm not a Buddhist, but I love the experience of entering to the main praying hall in Udong, the largest Buddhist monastery in Cambodia, and have a 10 Buddha blessing ceremony. You gotta sit there and have monks with chants and bless you. After that, you feel very relaxed, very calm. So for me, culture, people, everything is beautiful along the Mekong, but that is my most favorite experience.
I think that's a place where I will have to go. I mean, I don't know if you've taken part to our cruises in Europe, do it. But so come over, and then I'll come over to the Mekong. We'll find something.
I would love to see you in Europe too.
Well, thank you so much. And I know we are running out of time, so that's why let's just turn to our next slide. Our next Sip and Sail hour, featuring the festive Christmas markets in Europe, will happen on Thursday, August 27 at our time, 4 p.m. California time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I said, we still hope to get a couple of weeks or months out of cruising, hopefully then with all the beautiful holiday markets this year on the Rhine and the Danube River. And now let's come to the end. And for the end, I would love to introduce, not to introduce anymore, I would love to do a farewell toast. And you all know ama, amore means love. So this is a love toast. It is with much love and positive energy that I toast to our safe and healthy reunion on the rivers soon again. So with this, I'm looking forward to welcoming all of you on board our beautiful ships in the near future, hopefully still in 2020, but definitely 2021, 22. And I can say that this was the last time I personally have been on one of our ships. This is our team that came together during our global summit on board the AmaMagna in early January this year. And unfortunately, then you all know what happened in March. We had to stop cruising. And so there is nothing more than we wish that we all can come back together soon again. The rivers continue to flow. We just have to be a little bit more patient, but we know the time will come soon again. So thank you for all your loyalty, our guests, our travel advisor partners. Thank you, Dewey, Sebastian, and let's have another sip of wine, and until soon again. All the best.
Absolutely. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for being here.
With love from Vietnam.
Thank you, Kristin.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your evening. And as you all know, Ama means love. All the best. See you soon.